We don't have to be anything more than colleagues, We can if we want to, but we don't have to be. And also, I'm like, bro, I see you more than my family. Like, I see you every single day. Isn't that enough? If you don't want to reply, you don't reply. Or people that call their employees at like 8 p.m. on a holiday or during the weekend. I don't even reply. I'm not your wife. Why are you calling me at this time? It's in the audacity. Hi guys. I'm so happy to be here for a new video because this is a video that I would have loved to see when I was younger, when I was starting to work. Because I think these are things we don't really talk about, but are so mandatory to just keep our mental health in check, to feel happy, and to just not lose it while working. So grab yourself something to drink and let's get started. As you might have got it by now, of course, I'm drinking a coffee with oatmeal. If you haven't tried it, this is your 9 to this. So I'm currently working a 9 to 5. I'm also studying on the side. But yeah, I'm working a 9 to 5, and at first I was really puzzled with the whole situation because I was like, at the beginning it was fine, but then I started to feel frustration because I didn't have time to do things I wanted to do, I was waking up super early because I wanted to hit the gym when no one was there so that I could really work out first and then do my stuff, I wanted to work out. One of my goals was to go to the gym more consistently. So I was like, okay, I don't want the fact that I'm working preventing me from getting there. So I was like, it's fine. I'm just going to move things around. I was waking up every day at 5. I was hitting the gym, and then I was working until 5. And I would always try to make time during lunch break and all that jazz to work on my goals, all that good stuff. This is not something I managed to sustain, if you will, in the long haul. So yeah, slowly but surely, I really started to feel frustrated, and I was like, I feel like I'm giving my all to my work, and I still feel frustrated, and things that were happening at work were just getting to me easily. And then I just realized I was giving my all to my work. I couldn't make time for myself anymore. And I felt like my life was literally my job. I had friends there. I started gossiping, which I'm not like this, but everyone was gossiping and I was so frustrating, and I had the feeling I had lost myself. I started gossiping and I was like, I don't recognize myself anymore. And then I started doing some research and I changed my job. So I'm doing another job and I feel like I'm getting better at work-life balance. So this is the goal of this video. So my first take would be, treat your job as a side note. And what you do before your job, during your lunch break, if that may apply, and after your work is your life. I think we are taught to you should give it all for your job, sacrifice everything. But for me personally, I think that's exactly why people are so unhappy, hate their jobs, and suffer from burnouts. So these are things that really helped me manage this adult world, because when I was younger, I felt like there were a moment where when you just knew you turned into an adult. I don't know, I still don't feel like an adult. Anyways, have a routine before work. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Of course, you can apply this to your personal life and preferences. But I'd say I like to wake up at 5 a.m. to just meditate and do some morning pages. You might know what I mean if you've read The Artist's Way. So yeah, I like to do that, take my vitamins, and just get ready, hit the gym, really sweat it out, and then I feel like I'm ready to tackle this day. If I don't feel like going to the gym or something like that, I'm just gonna still take time to wake up to do my morning routine, but my morning is gonna change. I'm gonna do pretty much the same things, unless I don't want to. But yeah, I'm gonna pretty much do the same things, except for the fact that I'm gonna take things slow. So I'm really gonna take things slow. I'm really gonna try to be mindful and intentional about my routine. The goal here is not to be productive, is not to maximize the time you have before you go to work. Absolutely not. The goal with this, when I do this before going to work, is just to put me in the right headspace. Meaning, I want to get to work and be like, okay, I tried my best to elevate my vibrations, basically, you know, put myself in a good mood. Also, I like to read, but it depends. Sometimes I'm going to read poetry, sometimes I'm going to read self-help books, sometimes I'm going to read novels. It just depends. I'm not doing all of the things I just stated every day. It depends on my mood and the time I have, but at least I try to give myself some time and check in with myself. What do I want to do? What do I have time to do? How do I want to feel with that? So the goal here is really, to help me navigate the day and tackle the day. So no matter what that might be for you, it might be drawing, it might be going for a walk, it might be taking care of your plants, it might be even watching Netflix. Like, really, it doesn't really matter as long as you're doing something that you like and that makes you feel good, you know. And we're all different, so what works for me might not work for you, and that's fine. On the same note, having a night routine. So a routine after work, meaning I leave work at 5, I know I'm gonna get home. Sometimes I go to the gym after work if I really wanted to go before, but I couldn't. I was too tired or I woke up late. This is where I'm gonna go working out. And I get home, and the first thing I do is I prep my dinner. I don't shower, clean, all that. Just no, the first thing I do is prepare my dinner. Then that's out of the way because I also cook for work, so I cook larger portions. And then I'm doing my stuff, you know. I'm showering, cleaning a little bit, reading, writing, working on some goals. So I don't know, about me writing a few chapters or going for a walk if I really want to add more steps in my day. It might be watching Netflix. It might be drawing, painting. Like, just I try to reduce the amount of time I spend on my phone. I don't really spend time on my phone, but I try to reduce the activities such as TikTok, YouTube, and Netflix. Yeah, I try to reduce that. I try to do things that involve me doing something with my hands, me using my brain, because I feel like if I watch too much Netflix, I'm just gonna feel like an idiot, you know. I'm gonna be like, yeah, from time to time it's good, like everything is about balance. I'm gonna feel good if I watch, like, I love watching movies on Netflix during the weekend, like during Sunday. Sunday, guys, is the day I love. This day was literally made to watch movies. So I love watching movies on Sundays. But I try to do things that during the week help me get closer to my goals, closer to getting to know me or something like that, you know. Whatever you do, make sure you find, you know, things that make you feel good, you know, that make you feel like you are doing stuff other than just working. Don't wait for the weekend to do things. Like, don't wait for the weekend to do things. It's kind of similar to what I was saying. It's better to split things you want during the whole week than try to bundle everything during the weekend. then you're always going to feel tired and pressured to do stuff. Like, I remember when I started working, I tried it for a while. I was keeping it chill during the week, and I would just stuff my weekends, guys. Really stuff my weekends with everything I wanted to do during the week and couldn't do. But I slowly realized it wasn't being helpful, because during the week I felt like during the week the only thing I would do is wake up, go to work, go back home, eat, sleep, repeat, and I was like, I feel like a robot. This is not working. And also during the week I felt so tired and so pressured and so overstimulated because I had all these things I wanted to do during the weekend. So since I changed it this way, my life is better. Yeah, and also I'm not saying I'm gonna go out until 2 a.m. on the week, even though that's something I used to do back in the days. But I'm like, if you want to grab a drink with someone, let's say coffee after work, this is the perfect time. And also, I realized the week goes by faster when you just add things during the week. Like, let's say you have this routine of waking up, going to work, coming back home, going to sleep, all that, just repeat. Time sometimes goes by really slow. But when you add things, it's kind of making time goes by faster, and you can't wait because you have things to look forward to doing, Like, when was that? I think it's Friday. On Tuesday, I went for a coffee with a friend, and the week went by so fast. I can't even realize it's already Friday. Work on your goals. Like, I know it can be challenging, but you're gonna get there. But don't wait. Don't tell yourself, yeah, I'm working, I don't have time to work on my goals, to work on myself, because everyone has things to do, everyone is working basically. So if you have this mindset of, I'm gonna wait until I have time to do stuff, you're never gonna have time. Because when the time's gonna come for you to really grind and hustle, you're gonna be so tired, and you won't have planned things. So gonna be like, yeah, I'm just gonna postpone again, and you're gonna indulge in other activities, like, let's say, drinking, sleeping, doing stuff that, yes, of course, on the moment they're gonna make you feel good, but in the long haul, you're gonna look back on your life and you're gonna be like, yeah, of course, I watched all of Netflix and I spent I don't know how much money on drinks and food and all that jazz, and I was fine, but I didn't do things I really wanted to do. So in a way, that's self-sabotaging. Don't give 100% to yourself at work, guys. Especially in the beginning, because you're not gonna be able to maintain that in a long haul while staying sane, So go progressively, but consistently. I know sometimes we're taught like, hey, you have to just be on your best behavior and give it your all from the beginning. You really want to show them who you are and all that jazz. But if you give yourself 100% right at the beginning, you can't sustain it. Like, you can't do it. It's not possible. You're literally gonna lose it, But instead, start small. I mean, doing the bare minimum, and see how it goes, and see if you can just increase, whatever it is that you're doing. And because I think a lot of people are getting fired for that, because they give their all just right off the bat, and then they can't sustain it. So their bosses are like, what's going on? You're working less, your numbers are less, and like, you're not as productive as you used to be. And maybe you're going to be like, yeah, I wanted to do the bare minimum because I wanted to focus on my family, I wanted to focus on myself, because I have health problems, all that jazz, no matter what it is. And they're going to be like, okay, but we weren't used to this, so now we want this from you, but you can't give us this, so we're sorry, we're going to have to let you go. And this is something that happens often. So I think starting small and then slowly working your way up sounds like the best option for me. Set fucking boundaries. I know it's a trendy word, it's a trendy phrase, but it's true. Set boundaries. If you finish work at 5 p.m., leave at that time. Don't let extra hours be forced on you, especially if you don't even know if you're going to be paid for them. So I work a 9 to 5. I start working at 9. I leave at 5. If you want to talk to me past 5, send me an email. If you want to talk to me past 5 and it's like going to be 30 minutes, I want to be paid, you know. Like before anything, discuss like extra hours beforehand. Like, are there going to be extra hours? How much are they going to be paid? So that if the day comes and something like that happens, you can vocalize it. Is it going to be considered an extra hour? If yes, okay, I'm staying if I can and I want to. If not, okay, it can wait until tomorrow, you know. Because also it goes both ways. Like, you think you have to give your all to your job, but your boss thinks you have to give them your all also, you know. So they might expect a lot of things from you and feel like it's normal, but guys, we saw the effects on working too much, not having your life and not being happy in your life, not setting boundaries, and just giving you your literal life for your work. Burnout, people can't, you know. We learned from that, so we're not gonna repeat that. In some workplaces, people are gonna take until you say stop, you know. So set boundaries and don't be afraid to vocalize them. You don't have to be mean or to be aggressive. You just can be like, oh, okay, is it going to be considered an extra hour? Yes, no, yes, okay, I'm staying if I want to, if I can. If not, okay, then see you tomorrow. You don't have to make a big thing out of it, you know. Something that really helped me is taking breaks. If you feel overstimulated, if you feel like you're not in a good headspace, go take breaks, especially outside because of your workplace. I used to do that, like my first job, like my previous job. I would just take my break inside of the building. But guys, everyone was talking to me about work, and I was like, I'm taking my break and I can't even take a break because you guys are constantly talking to me about work. When I'm saying take a break, it literally means take a break from work. So what I like to do is go outside. No one's gonna follow me. No one's gonna talk to me about work. So I'm just going for a walk. Even if I just have 10 minutes, I'm gonna walk around the building, or I'm gonna walk a little bit, you know, just walk so that you can think about something else. You can just empty your mind. And when you come back, you're gonna feel so much more relaxed. Bonus point if you have a park nearby. And yeah, also, you can vocalize anything to your boss. You just have to find the right way to put it. If something makes you uncomfortable, it probably is. Just say it. Sometimes we think we have to put up with everything and just say yes, but no. I think it takes time to integrate, especially when you're young and you start working, and this, it's always been like that. But you can say anything to your boss, and you just have to find the right way with it. Also, taking something that really helped me is to take my lunch breaks to myself. O sea, use my lunch breaks for myself. So staying away from my colleagues. I love my colleagues, but I'm gonna eat outside with them from time to time, but 9 times out of 10, I'm just solo. And I'm doing things that I love, that make me feel good, like a walk, reading a book, giving a call to a loved one, working on a personal project that I really wanted to work on, you know? Like, I remember in the past, I would just like do nothing during my lunch breaks. I would be on my phone. I would just talk to friends and not friends, but stay with colleagues, hang out with colleagues on that jazz. And that's great. But at the end, I was like, if only I had taken, I don't know, maybe half of the lunch breaks just to myself and to do things I really wanted to do that were going to help me get closer to my goals, I would have learned so much in so many different areas, you know. So everything is about balance. But I think that if you want to achieve a certain lifestyle for yourself, if there are really things that you want to get in life and you know they're meant for you, give yourself the means to get there, you know. It doesn't mean you have to sacrifice every lunch break of yours if you're really getting along with your colleagues. But let's say if you work 5 days a week, maybe use 3 lunch breaks to yourself and 2 for colleagues. So you're gonna make it work. But I think it's really a shame if you don't use this time just to focus on yourself. And it's not even to be productive, but you know, you're gonna feel rested and more aligned if you take an hour to read a book that you really wanted to read. Or let's say you were reading into a book and you're nearing the end and you're like, I really want to know what's gonna happen. You're gonna feel so much better after taking the time to finish that book and then go back to work in the afternoon, instead of being with colleagues and maybe small talks that aren't going to make you feel good, or you're going to be like, oh yeah, we talked a lot, we gossiped, but it didn't really make me feel good, you know. Yeah, guys, this was life-changing. And then you go back to work in the afternoon and you feel rested, you feel aligned, and you feel like you took time to yourself. Because sometimes we don't even fill up our own cup and we're like pouring into other people's, and you're like, who's taking care of my cup, you know? And it's not selfish, it's just like taking care of oneself. Set boundaries. Also, once again, boundaries. For example, you can make these compromisos, these pacts with yourself, saying, I'm not gonna reply to emails past 5 p.m, past 6 p.m. Like, you're gonna make these rules with yourself, and that these rules are gonna help you stay aligned and, most importantly, stay sane, because we don't want to lose our minds here. So yeah, try to make these rules. Like, if you don't know where to start, think about things that really piss you off about work. Let's say you're always talking about your boss that's sending you emails at 7 p.m. Okay, they send you an email at 7 p.m, but why did you reply? You know, why are ever your notifications linked to your emails on at this time, you know? Like, you can't control the fact that your boss sent you an email at 7 p.m, but you control whether you see it or not, and you can control whether you reply to it or not. So if this is something that really pisses you off, turn your notifications off and make a pact to yourself. I'm not gonna check my emails after 5 p.m, 6 p.m, 7 p.m. It's gonna have to wait until the next morning, you know? Because you have to separate. I know it's hard, but you really have to try your best to separate between your work life and your personal life. And I know I saw this TikTok and this girl was like, I can't separate the two. Well, you know yourself better, you know. But for me personally, I really have to set strict boundaries, and I need the boundaries to be crystal clear, you know. Otherwise, I'm at work thinking about personal things, and I'm at home thinking about work-related stuff. Boundaries, guys. Boundaries. And the email example I just talked to you about is one of them. Like, you know, I remember I was so pissed about this. That's not a random example. That happened to me. Until I realized, bitch, don't reply. Why are your email notifications even on, you know? And then you realize the power is yours. Like, if you don't want to reply, you don't reply. Or people that call their employees at like 8 p.m. on a holiday or during the weekend. I don't even reply. I'm not your wife. Why are you calling me at this time? You know, it's in the audacity. You don't have to say yes when colleagues invite you for drinks or out in general. You guys are colleagues before everything. If you don't want to take this relationship to the next level, you don't have to, and they shouldn't blame you for it. There are some people that are just meant to be colleagues, like platonic colleagues. You don't go out, you don't go for drinks, you just do small talk every day, you know. And this is what the relationship is supposed to be. And you have other people with whom you can feel the potential for more, and you want to go for drinks and go for coffee and go to the restaurant with them. And that's fine, but don't feel pressured to say yes. Like, How many times did people at work that were only colleagues for me, and I couldn't even start seeing myself with them outside of work, asked me for drinks or all that jazz? I said no, and I felt so guilty. But then I realized we don't have to be anything more than colleagues, you know. We can if we want to, but we don't have to be. Therefore, this is my decision. And if I don't want this relationship to go to the next level, I won't. And also, I'm like, bro, I see you more than my family. Like, I see you every single day. Isn't that enough? Learn how to disconnect and leave work at work. It's also similar to what I was saying earlier. And turn off work-related notifications. It's the same thing as I was talking about earlier. Just make sure you differentiate your work from your personal life. Yeah, and there you guys have it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I didn't even know I had so much to say about this topic. I really wish I knew this sooner. Like, especially when it comes to work, there is this kind of myth that you have to give it your all, your health, your mental health, your physical health. You have to give everything just to get paid minimum wage and just put up with so many different things. And I wish I knew how to manage this, and just keeping that in mind, and just realizing this helps me feel better within myself, less frustrated and more aligned. Because at the end of the day, your work, I mean, it depends, but my work now is just a means for me to get money. If I didn't need money, I wouldn't be working this job. So I'm like, why am I gonna give it so many importance and so many worth while it's just for me a means to get money? I should treat it as that, you know, as a side note of my life. My life is happening outside of my work. And just keeping that in mind helped me navigate this kind of adult world, like work related, whatever, better. I hope that was helpful. I really enjoyed it. And don't forget to take care of yourself. And don't forget your royalty. Bye, guys.